Hi everyone, welcome to the Wednesday class. Oh, I haven't said hello on the chat. Let me just say hi. There we go. Yeah, so please just say hi on the chat and put thumbs up. There we are. Morning, Kat. Thank you for looking after the chat for me. So we're into the bladder meridian and the kidney meridian. I'll just remind you where we are while everyone's joining up, and we can see where we're at. Let's just have a look. The clock here, I think. Yeah, okay, so here we are. Look, we've come round the clock all the way, and we're actually in the bladder and kidney area now. We've done half the year in our epic 1-year journey around the meridians. So last week we did a special review of all the meridians. We did lung, large intestine, stomach and spleen, heart and small intestine. Did a kind of different session there. And thank you for everyone who emailed in and posted on the chat. We didn't do kidney 1. Everyone was really upset. So don't worry, we will be doing kidney 1 this week as part of our water element session. So I thought we'd do a little bit of a different session today, because just to kick off the whole bladder meridian thing, because the bladder meridian is, you may know, is related to the spine. And I've actually got an interesting little video clip I might show you later on in the month about why the bladder meridian is connected to the spine, because you think that's a little bit strange, the bladder, why is it connected? But there is a reason. And I'd like to show you a video later on in the month about that. But for now, let's just take it that the bladder channel runs all the way down the back, and the spine is such an important structure. I thought it'd be really good fun to do our scanning on our spine today. And I've got a special new poll to ask you, what part of your spine would you like to work on? And then what we can do is we can use the meridians and the exercises that work on the internal parts of the body to connect up with the back, because the back connects through and into all the internal organs. So we can do two things. If we want to work on our spine, we can either work directly on the bladder channel and on the channels that run through the spine to align ourselves and get our spine working. But we can also do another really cool thing, which is we can affect the spine indirectly by working on the organs that then reflect out onto the back. And I thought we'd use the 3 heaters as a model for that. So that's what we've got in store for us today. Again, a little bit different because we're working on the bladder meridian. So if you'd like to get your piece of paper and your pen ready, and we'll do the scanning down the back. And we're going to do a scan right away, a very kind of careful scan all the way down the spine. And then we're going to do a drawing of our spine scan. And then I've got a poll for you to ask you as a group, which part of your spine you'd most like to work on. And as we go through the spine, I'm just going to kind of take you on an internal journey so you can feel the sense of your spine all the way from the neck down into the sacrum. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so there's three main parts of the spine that we need to be able to get in touch with. We've got 3 curves. We've got the neck, basically, the cervical spine. We've got the so-called thoracic spine. That's the bit that's connected to the ribs here. And then we've got the lumbar and then the sacrum here. So we've got all these 3 main curves, and the sacrum as well, so you could call it 4. And you'll notice that if you tune into your back, you'll notice that this curve goes this way, or at least it should. This one curves that way, the back, and then the lumbar curves this way. So we can divide our spine up into the cervical spine, that's the neck, and then we can divide the thoracic spine, that's this bit here, into 3, the upper, middle, which is about here, and the lower thoracic. And then we've got the lumbar and then the sacrum. So we're going to scan down the whole spine. I'll talk you through it and draw a little chart about showing how our spine feels. And then what we'll do is I'll run a poll. We'll find out which part of your spine that you most like to work. And then I'll link that with the 3 burners. And we'll do some work, especially on the spine. Okay? And then we'll also do some work on the internal channels that run on the inside of the body that link into the back. So it's a kind of new exploration into how we can how we can get the maximum kind of balance and movement in our whole spine. Okay, so let's do the whole body scanning first. We're going to focus the scan in onto the spine itself. So you may want to just close your eyes, just relax, and tune into your cervical spine. We're going to go down this actually 7 vertebrae, believe it or not, in this part of the spine. So if you can get in touch internally and just scan down from the base of your cranium, internally feeling how is it like that neck, the cervical spine. And things to notice are things, does it feel nice and smooth all the way down? Does it feel like there's any obstructions? Does it even feel like it's not quite in the right place maybe? So we're just going to go down, we'll figure that out as we go down. So that's the cervical spine. I'm just getting a little picture of that part of the spine. Okay, got it? Okay, so now we're going to go down into the thoracic. We're going to divide that into 3 main areas. We've got the kind of like the upper, the middle, and the lower thoracic. So if you feel around here, you'll feel your ribs, and you'll feel them going into the spine around here. And this, again, if you breathe in and out, you probably feel the ribs moving. And all of those ribs are connected to the thoracic spine. So let's go internal and see if we can sense how the spine feels as we go down between the upper, middle, and the lower thoracic. Okay, so if you could see through me, the upper would be about here, middle would be here around the heart center, and the lower thoracic would be around here, more connected to the lower part. Okay, so if I can reach it, this is the upper, this is the middle, and this is the lower part of the thoracic. Okay, so let's go internal, closing our eyes, carefully scanning down. Let's just see how that upper thoracic feels. And you'll notice it's kind of all connected up with the shoulders and the ribs. Okay, got it? Okay, excellent. Just notice if there's any areas of obstruction there, or any feelings of weakness, or any feelings that it's not quite right. And now let's go down to the mid-thoracic and see what kind of feeling we get from that area. That's right through here into the middle thoracic area. Again, closing our eyes. Okay, got that? And now we go down to the lower thoracic, which is right just above the lumbar spine. So we're about here now. We're going to tune into that area and see if we get any information from there, any obstructions, any feeling of weakness or misplacement. Okay, so that's the lower thoracic. And now we're going down into the lumbar spine. So this is this whole bit part here that goes down into the sacrum. There's no ribs connected to this, it's just the lumbar muscles. So it's a different kind of feeling. It's just those lumbar muscles there holding the spine. So let's just tune into that. Okay, and again, tuning down internally, just seeing if there's anywhere where you feel it's not quite right, or maybe where there's some obstruction or weakness. And then finally into the sacrum, which is this bony bit here that connects with the hips, and this goes right down here to the coccyx. It's this flat area that you can feel just below the lumbar spine. Okay, so just tuning into that. So the lumbar and the sacrum, they're kind of connected together. Okay, excellent. So we're going to take a kind of step back, feel our spine as a whole system. Okay, and what I'd like you to do is just stand down, get a feel for your spine as a whole. And then if you had to turn that into a picture, what would it look like? And let's just draw a picture of the whole spine. I'm going to put my head at the top. So this is our spine scan. Okay, and this is what mine looks like. This is what my spine looks like. Definitely need the Wednesday class, as you can see. And now, if you just decide which you're going to vote for, I'm going to run the poll. Let's just see, as a group, which is the most favourite part of the spine that we'd like to work on. And the question is, where in your spine would you most like to work today? And we've got the options are the neck, the upper thoracic, mid-thoracic, lower thoracic, and then I put the lumbar and the sacrum together because I only had 5 options. I'll just share it now and we'll see where we are, and we can then pace the session accordingly like we do every week and see if we can give ourselves the maximum help there. Let's just see. Look at this, we've got a really strong pattern already starting to emerge here. Look at that. That's amazing. Like the lumbar and the sacrum are a whole over half the group. And then we've got neck. And that's very interesting because there are some very good points we can explore that connect the neck with the lumbar. And then we've got mid-thoracic, which is often associated with the heart center, by the way. Lower thoracic, again, that's more associated with the middle burner. And no one for the upper thoracic so far. Okay, look at that. That's so interesting. Right, we're definitely going to have to do kidney 1 this week because that's a good connection with the lower burner, which governs the lumbar area. Okay, superb. Right, let's start and let's see how much we can balance out our spines using direct work on the bladder channel. And of course, we've got point of the week coming up for that. We've got a great point of the week for that distribution of neck and lumbar sacrum. And then we can use, as I said, the internal connections with the channels to support the spine from both sides. Okay, so let's do it. Okay, so I know a lot of you always vote for shaking as your favorite exercise in the group, and that's because shaking is a really good way of releasing obstruction. So what we'll do is we'll start off with some shaking, but we're going to focus it in on the spine. We're going to take it really easy today. Now, if you've got any area of weakness that you found when you were going through the scan, you just take this shaking a little bit more gently, take it nice and easy, and just see if you can get some more energy movement in that area. Okay, so let's take the thread that's hanging us from above, and why don't we start off by relaxing the neck, which is a really good idea. We're going to release the whole neck by shaking. We're going to take that top of the head and we're going to relax our jaw, okay? And we're going to just focus in on all of those vertebrae in the cervical vertebrae that's in the neck. And as we bounce up and down and start shaking, keep that jaw really relaxed. We're going to just focus in on any tension that we have in the neck and release it through. Okay, now we've got a whole collection of yang channels, as we know, all the way through the neck. So we want to keep the arms loose as well, and the hips and the legs loose. We want to get that extension down those yang channels. Very useful for releasing the neck. So the neck floating up, relaxing. Okay, excellent. So let's just get that as much space as we can. In the cervical vertebrae. Oh, doesn't it feel great? We just start to really start loosening up now. My head starts to float. Keeping that base of the cranium really loose. And now we're going to relax the throat. We've got the whole neck relaxing. Floating up. Okay, so the neck, remember, is connected to all the yang channels. We've got all of, like the bladder, the gallbladder, we've got the stomach channel. We've got all these yang channels running down the neck. So that's important to keep the shoulders relaxed as we're releasing the neck. And let's just throw out any tension down the arms and down the legs from the neck. Okay, excellent. Okay, so now we're going to go down, and you've got no one, the poor old upper thoracic, no one voted for it. Oh, but I'll tell you what, I'm going to put my vote in for that, because as you can see from my chart, look at that. I'm the only one. Look at that upper thoracic there. Can you see that? So just for my own benefit, let's just work on the upper thoracic and to get that continuity down the spine. So we've got the head floating up, the neck releasing, jaw relaxed. Okay, all those yang channels starting to flow down the body. And now the upper thoracic around there is related to the lung. So what we can do is we can just rotate the shoulders, and this time, rather than shaking down through the arms, what we're doing is we're opening up lung 1 and lung 2 and rolling the shoulders back. Okay, and what you'll find you can do is if you stretch this way, like this, which is a kind of lung stretch going like this, you'll start to feel that affecting the upper thoracic. Look at that. Okay, so we're shaking, but we're also stretching open the lung. Look, you can see what I'm doing there, going to the thumb. And that will start to just move any obstruction that you might have, like me, in the upper thoracic there. How about that? Just do a few more. Okay, very good. So I think we had quite a few mid-thoracic, didn't we? Yeah, 18% voted for mid-thoracic. And that's hardly surprising because it's the emotional center of the body, and that links directly with the heart protector and the heart meridians. So basically this movement here, you'll probably feel like if you open up this way and stretch this way, you'll feel it affecting the mid-thoracic like that. We're opening up the sternum, stretching it and then shaking, stretching this way. So this is the lung, like this. Pulling out to the thumb is the lung for the upper thoracic. And then we have this movement out like this. And you kind of experiment with moving the body like this, opening up and releasing the mid-thoracic. How about that? Okay. And then shaking. Okay, very good. Okay, now the lumbar, the lower thoracic. Did we get any votes for that? Let's have a look. Yeah, 9%. Okay, we had a couple of votes for the lower thoracic. That lower thoracic area tends to be related to the stomach and the spleen and the liver and the gallbladder. So what you probably want to do is you probably want to do a little bit of twisting there and shaking. If you want to free up that area there, you really want to do a little bit of twisting to open up the liver channel, some stretching of the stomach channel, moving around. And that's a favorite area of the back to become stagnated, related to the middle burner. Okay, so let's just do a bit of shaking, a bit of stretching around to open that up. And shaking. Oh, doesn't it feel great? Okay, so let's just do a little bit of shake all the way down from the cervical vertebrae all the way down now that we've finished the thoracic. And see if we can get the whole thing moving as a whole. Just see if we can do that, floating my head up, feeling space in the vertebrae, between each of the vertebrae, shaking, relaxing the jaw, relaxing the breathing, shaking all the way down the spine. Okay, and then we get into the famous lumbar area, and this is where we get a lot of issues happening. We've got a massive 48% voted for the lumbar and the sacrum. Okay, and this, I'm sure you know this is related to the lower burner. It's related to all those great points like kidney 3, kidney 1. So what we're going to do now is, before we start the actual going and everything, let's just shake and move the lumbar spine. So I'm going to just relax the hips. Okay. And just see what you can do yourself just by releasing the pelvis, really releasing it. We've got the head floating up nicely now. We've got all of the upper spine and the neck released. So let's see if we can shape that down into that lumbar area. Great stuff, brilliant. Okay, just gonna get that all the way down, relaxing the hips. See if we can get right down into the sacrum. We need to just relax the whole gluteal muscles here to release the sacrum around here. Now, if you're finding you've got weakness in the lower back, in the lumbar, just take it nice and easy, just do some gentle shaking, and we'll start tonifying that area up in a moment. Okay, fantastic. Okay, so now let's see if we can put it all together and get the whole spine opening up. And the way we're going to do that is by concentrating on the dynamic between the sacrum and the base of the cranium, because this is a really good connection. And if we get the sacrum hanging down and the head floating up, each of the vertebrae in the spine will just naturally start to float on one on top of the other. Okay, so let's just try that. Let's feel the sacrum as heavy as we can, relaxing the legs, feeling the weight going down into the floor. Yeah, okay, and then have the head floating up, relaxing the jaw, and just feel the whole spine all the way down. Very nice. And we're just going to shake any areas of tension left out. Gently shake them out. Get that head floating up. Okay, how about that? What a great way to start the session. I can feel my spine going woohoo, tingling all the way down. And the spine's so important, of course, because all the nerves go through it into the whole body. It's a really good place to start, and really a nice way to start the whole session. Okay, so now it's time to work on up through the different burners. I'm going to link those through the channels directly with each area of the spine, and then we'll finish off with point of the week. Very excited about point of the week, and we're going to then finish off by working externally as much as we can, by working the actual bladder channel. Are you with me? So it's like working internally to support the internal energetics to create space and release in the different parts of the spine, and then finally opening up the bladder channel all the way down. Okay, so let's do it. And where are we going to start? All together, everyone on the chat, you know the point that we're going to start with. The one we missed out last week, sorry about that. It's kidney 1. The reason we're going to do that is because we want to get that lumbar vertebrae, those lumbar vertebrae and the lumbar region as strong as possible. And the way to do that is to tonify the kidney channel internally and also to work the bladder channel. Okay, so let's just try this, okay? I'll show you what I mean. Like if we put our hands here to start with, around CV4 and CV6, we're going to relax our shoulders, float our head up. Now, if we track internally how this lower burner here connects in with the lumbar, so what I'd like you to do is bring your attention first of all into these hands and then extend your awareness through CV4 and CV6, the lower dantian, this is here. Imagine your connection all the way through. And see if you can almost like feel the lumbar spine, that's here, all the way through with your awareness from your hands. Okay, have you got it? You might want to just relax your sacrum a bit. That sensation that you're feeling now between the front of the body and the back is the strength of the lower dantian, which supports the lower lumbar. Okay, so let's first of all do some lower abdominal breaths before we get down to kidney 1, and then we can see the difference. Okay, what happens? Okay, so first of all, let's just take some nice, easy lower abdominal breaths. We're imagining the Qi coming in, or the breath, energy from the breath coming in. Okay, collecting it here, but also extending it. Let's extend that feeling of the breath into the lumbar and relax the lumbar area here. Okay, hold it. And then breathing, we let the breath come out. We keep the energy in this area here. Imagine it like a bowl connected through and into this area here. Okay, very good. Okay, so now this time we're going to go one step further. We're going to direct the breath into the middle of these two hands. Okay, we're going to bring the breath in right into the center of the dantian, not so much into the front. Here we go, breathing in. That's it. Become aware of the back of your lumbar spine and fill that area with the breath. Hold it, contain it, and then breathe out. Okay, very good. Now to emphasize that, we can even go one step further, which is to bring the Qi from the breath into the actual lumbar spine. So even though we've got our hands here, oh, excuse me, bless me. We're going to bring the breath into this part of the body. So let's just try that. Here we go. Relaxing the shoulders, floating the head up. Bring the breath into the lumbar. Very good. Hold it. Contain it in the lower burner and breathe out. Okay, now just tracking internally how easy it was to do that, how easy it was to breathe down there. We'll now do your favorite point, maybe one, and then we'll check back in and see if that changes our ability to bring that breath in. Because bringing that breath into this area here is really important for tonifying and working on the lumbar spine. Okay, so let's do it. Okay, go back there. Oh, here we are. Okay, so let's work on kidney 1. Remember, it's 1/3 of the distance down the midline of the foot, so it's right there where my finger is now. I'm going to dig in there with both fingers and open the whole foot up. Okay, bladder channel actually runs down to the little toe, as we'll find out at the end of next month when we complete, well, no, the end of this month actually, when we complete the bladder channel points. Okay, you tap here, kidney 1, just gently tapping it open, and my thumb is holding kidney 3 just behind the ankle there, just to open up the channel. Very good. Let's get that routine set up. Open that. Excellent. Hardly need my socks. I don't know what the weather's like where you are, but it's actually very, very warm. It's already starting to heat up now in Norwich. So I'm going to open up kidney 1. I'm just stretching it open, holding kidney 3, tapping kidney 1. Very good. Okay, woohoo. Kidney 1 zinging. You might want to just give it a bit of an extra go if you need a bit more power in there. I'm going to just check it out and see what happens. It's starting to zing away. Okay, let's try it and see what happens now with the lower abdominal breathing. Okay, let's see. Whoa, there we go. It never fails. That feeling now, if you track internally how your energy feels, you'll notice that kidney 1's already becoming active. It's giving a feeling of solidity in the whole body, particularly the legs. That's yin tonification. It's the connection with the earth. It's really important because the kidney channel comes up and it supports the lower burner, which in turn supports the lumbar spine. Okay, so look, just try one breath, keeping our awareness on kidney 1. Okay, we're going to breathe in. Keep your awareness on kidney 1. Hold the breath and contain it. And breathe out. Okay, you notice it's much more solid now, much calmer, because kidney 1 is now activating that yin connection with the earth. So let's work on a little bit more. We're going to tonify we're going to do a little routine here. We're going to go up from kidney 1, open up the kidney channel. We're going to go to bladder 23, that's just this very important point on the lumbar. Once we've done that, then we'll go down into the legs, down the bladder channel, and go around the circuit again. Okay, and we'll pause to energize bladder 23 as we go. All right, so here we go. We're going to just use tapping. We're going to pick up the kidney channel from kidney 3. Up the inside. Here we go, up here the kidney channel goes up here basically to kidney 11. And then we're going to go round, switch to this technique, keep kidney 1 open, floating our head up, keeping the whole spine as open as we can. If this is too much for your shoulders, by the way, you can always do this and project your energy through into the points on the back. But where we're aiming for is right in the middle of the back here, bladder 23, which is a really strong point for tonifying, strengthening the lower back. But to keep the power there, keep that kidney 1 open and float up the head, and activating it. And then we're going to go down onto the sacrum here. You feel the sacroiliac joint there, which is this joint here, down here. Okay, and then we can pick up bladder channel on the back of the legs, down the calves, okay, and then we go round again and come up to the meridian, to here, round onto the back, opening up kidney 1, floating up the head, releasing our spine, tonifying bladder 23. Feel that connection there between kidney 1 and the lower back. Very good. Okay, and then we're going to tap down the bladder channel. Round to kidney 3 again and up the kidney channel for one last go. Up kidney 11, round, bladder 23. Keep that kidney 1 open, keep the head floating up if possible, and then tapping down. And up again. To finish. Okay, good. A little bit of shaking. Get those hips really released. Okay, excellent. Very, very good. So that's how the internal kidney channel links with the dantian, and how it links with bladder 23, and how it links with the lower abdominal breathing. And that's a really important foundation then for the rest of the spine. So we've rooted the lower burner. So now let's work on the lower thoracic. Let's have a look at the voting. Oh yeah, we only had a couple of people lower thoracic. It's worth having a little bit of a go in terms of releasing this middle burner. So let's do this exercise, the liver exercise. What we'll do is we'll focus it in on the rotation of the spine this time. So let's revise what we've done so far. Let's keep that head floating up. Keep the sacrum released down. Get that feeling of connection between the base of the cranium, the top of the head, and the sacrum weighted down like this. It's all internal. It's all just getting an internal feeling of that opening. Very good. Okay, now we're going to just gently twist here. And we're focusing in on the lower thoracic. So we're aware of the diaphragm, which connects round to the lower thoracic. Nice and easy rotation. Very good. Okay, keep that head floating up. Nice and easy. Keep the head floating up, sacrum hanging down, focusing that twist on the lower thoracic there. Okay, excellent. Okay, so now let's do something a little bit different. What we're going to do is we're going to take that twist and we're going to take it up into the mid-thoracic, which was, let me have a quick look. Yeah, that was more popular. The mid-thoracic is related to the heart and heart protector channels. So let's just see if we can do a little bit of a twist with the heart protector and heart meridians activated. Let's do it with the pericardium. Let's bring the arms out like this. I've got room without hitting the wall. Yeah, that's it. Okay, here we go. What we're going to do is we're going to twist the we're going to just shake out and stretch out the mid-thoracic. And this is how we're going to do it, by opening up the heart protector channel and using a twist. So I've got my feet on the ground, kidney 1, head floating up, opening up the pericardium channel, which links directly with the sternum here and with the mid-thoracic. And let's just turn around like this. Quite enough room here with the wall. Just to get an idea of how the mid-thoracic connects the head floating up. Okay, very good. And come round to the front. Bit of shaking out. Breathing in, breathing out. Stretching, and just feeling that nice comfortable feeling of the mid-thoracic being stretched backwards, because what this does is it opens up this part of the back. So here we go, breathing in, breathing out, head floating up, kidney 1 connecting with the earth, and relaxing. There we go. Okay, breathing in, breathing out. One more, breathing in, breathing out. Okay, excellent. That's the mid-thoracic there. So if you have any obstructions there, we can also use the Darwin as well with the channels if you need to open that area up. And then we can move up to the upper thoracic, which is this bit here. That's my favourite bit. And that's the lung area. So again, like we did before, when we're doing shaking, we can stretch it this way or even this way, breathing in, breathing out, stretching back. We open the throat up a little bit and open up this way, stretching the upper thoracic. And then if you want a bit more of a stronger stretch, we can go into this meridian stretch, which is breathing in, breathing out, focusing it in on the upper thoracic area here, breathing out, relaxing down. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Okay, working up. So now we've worked stabilizing the lower burner, connecting it with the lumbar and the sacrum. We've released the lower thoracic by using the liver stretch. We've opened up the mid-thoracic using the heart protector. Upper thoracic using the lung. So now we just come to the neck. Now the interesting thing about the neck is it's less connected with the internal organs, these yin organs, that yin meridians that connect this way, because it's basically a structure that holds the head up. And as we've found out over the last year or so, the yang channels basically begin and end on the head. So the main thing that happens with the neck is usually obstructions in the yang channel. So it's a little bit of a different approach from when we use the internal organs and burners for this part of the body. Okay, so what we need point of the week, because point of the week is an awesome point for opening up the whole neck. And I'll just show you the point itself. I've got it all ready for you. I'm just going to revise the last week's point of the week. Here we are. Now remember we did bladder 1 last week. That was this one, this point here, and that's right at the beginning of the bladder channel. It's used basically for eye problems and headaches and stuff. And then we go over the top of the head, if you remember often, and we get to this point, bladder 10, which is called celestial pillar. That's a pretty cosmic name because it's a cosmic function, because what it does is it connects you with the celestial, with the heavenly realm. It's a fantastic point for the head itself and all the, like the eyes, and especially the ears and the eyes. It also calms the spirit, but also it's interesting enough used for lumbar pain. And we often use it in Shiatsu when we're doing treatments to connect all the way down the spine and adjust the lumbar area, release the lumbar area. And so I'd like to just give you a taste of that point. It's a very often misunderstood point because the angle is often pressed wrongly. It's not, you might imagine that when you press the point, that you press upwards into the cranium like that, like you might do with gallbladder 20, but actually bladder 10 is this direction. It's like a bolt through the neck kind of thing, like a Frankenstein bolt. It goes through this way and it connects into the actual cervical spine. And once you get in there, you'll feel it connecting all the way down into the lumbar vertebrae. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll give you a close-up of where it is. If you don't mind, just here, it's, you feel around here, you'll feel like an indentation. You've got the top of the trapezius muscles here. So you go round to the outside here, and the point is actually right there, but the direction is pretty much straight in towards the spine. Whoa, that's it. Okay. Now you can use finger pressure or thumb pressure is quite good too. You don't want to overdo it. You want to just relax your arms, float your head up, gently press in, and then if you really relax all the way down your spine, there's a very good chance you'll feel it, not just where you're pressing in your neck, but also all the way down the spine. It has an amazing ability, bladder 10, to kind of connect with anywhere in your spine that you need to release, and it'll often go all the way down to the lumbar. You might find resonances and adjustments happening all the way down the spine. So I think we'll just spend a bit of time just working on that amazing point. I'm just going to relax the arms, place our hands like this. Find the point just on the outside of the trapezius muscles, angling in towards the spine. And as we do that, what we want to do is just really relax the whole neck, float our head up, get that sacrum hanging down, open up kidney 1, okay, and gently press in. And now see if you can feel it connecting anywhere down your spine and opening and releasing anywhere of obstruction. See, for me, it's actually hitting more the upper thoracic. I can feel a connection with the lumbar. I can mainly feel it working in the upper thoracic, but that's just because that's where my obstruction is. It's so good like that. Okay, good. Shaking the hands out and the arms out. Okay, so let's work from bladder 10. We can work down from, by using this technique. We're squeezing like that. We can work down the back of the neck like this. And this is the bladder channel right here. If we go a bit further out into that big indentation just here, this is the gallbladder channel, and it's another great yang channel for working the neck. So I'm just going to go slightly further out into this indentation here, put the heels of the hands into this groove here. Oh, brilliant. Look at that. Brilliant. All the while, it's good to keep that head floating up. We're now going to work the stomach channel here, which is the other main yang channel in the front of the neck. We also get the large intestine channel that runs through this front of the SCM muscle too. I'm just going to squeeze down. Okay, brilliant. So now let's just work a little bit on the face. It's a good idea just to rub any tension away from the forehead. Pulling the ears is a good idea. Wiping the eyes. Okay, and then we can squeeze here around the cheekbones, round into the jaw. And then around the jaw here. Again, there's quite a lot of yang channels around here. We've got the small intestine channel around here. All of these channels, triple heater, all these channels run down into the neck and then down into the arms and legs. So it's kind of like a potential kind of narrowing there and where all the channels run. So that's why the neck is a really good place to work, keeping that open. In fact, here we are, we've got 21% of you voted at the beginning of the session for this neck work. Okay, superb. All right, so let's see if we can now put it all together in the last 10 minutes of the session. So standing, relaxing the jaw, opening up kidney 1, feeling the Qi or the energy or your awareness flowing up and down the spine. Okay, and now we're going to do some we've started off with the bladder channel all the way down. We've worked some of this bladder channel here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to just do some gentle stretching exercises to physically open the spine and stretch the bladder meridian. Okay, you ready? So it's very simple, and just take it really easy. Use it internally and basically use the breath to release any residual tension that might still be there. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to breathe in and we're going to bring our hands up. We're going to float our head up. Okay, and then breathe out and gently stretch backwards, keeping the jaw relaxed, keeping kidney 1 connected to the earth, keeping the jaw relaxed like this. And just notice if there's anywhere in your body, in your spine, that needs opening up. And then we're going to breathe in, come up. And this is where we float down, like as if we're floating down through water. We're floating down. And here's a chance to really tune into our spines, relaxing and releasing any areas of tension. Got it? Okay, so now once we've just hung there for a bit, take a few easy breaths, we're going to use the breath to bring us up. The breath is pulling us up. Again, from the top of the head, breathing in. Arms go up. And then on the out breath, the head floats upwards and this way, extending the spine, opening the spine up from the front. So what we're doing is we're allowing the whole spine to kind of open up this way. Breathing in, breathing out, and floating down. Okay, that's it, just really relaxing. Again, hanging, allowing any areas of tension in the spine just to relax out. Very good. Okay, we're going to breathe in again. The breath brings us up. Very gentle, opening up, stretching up. It's lovely. And then breathing in, breathing out, floating down through water. And we go on into all fours. Okay, this is the yoga position, the cow cat yoga position. Similar kind of thing. Going to go work with the breath. We're going to imagine a line all the way through the spine like this, extending it out, Similar kind of thing that we did in the standing position. So I'm going to be breathing in. Yeah, what you do is breathe in and breathe out, and then just explore any areas of tension just by breathing out, releasing. And then breathe in again. And breathe out, stretch the other way. Nice and easy, breathing in again. And breathing out. Really go on that journey inside our spine. Let the breath move us into the position. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. And then coming back to center again. Okay, wow, what an amazing spine workout we've had today. Brilliant. Okay, so we just put it all together with the breath now. And we're going to try and, again, we're going to just try and connect up the breathing, kidney one, and the extension of the spine. And as you do it, we're just going to monitor again if there's anywhere that you need to release or bring energy in. Basically, two main types of energy we're going to bring in. One is the yang energy from the heavens and yin energy from the earth. And we're going to use this Tai Chi position, Tai Chi exercise. We're going to mix and match it. We're going to use it as a way of connecting with the earth and a way of connecting with the heavens and a way of integrating all the work we've done on the spine. Okay? So here we go. First of all, just standing. Feet shoulder width apart, opening up kidney one. Relaxing and opening the hips, sinking slightly down like this, just slightly down, relaxing the knees. Head floating up. And again, scanning all the way down your spine. Notice any lovely changes that you can feel, any movements and connections that you couldn't feel an hour ago when we started. Okay, so we're going to balance the heaviness and lightness in the spine by moving it with this exercise. So focusing again on the internal aspects of the spine. We're going to make the spine feel heavy here. Open up kidney one. Connect the whole spine with the earth. So just scanning through the spine, connecting with the earth. And we're going to breathe in. We're going to bring the arms up. We're sinking the spine down towards the earth, keeping kidney one open. Breathing out. Pushing up from the legs. Feeling the weight of the spine. Solid connection with the earth. Okay, we're going to do that a couple more times and then we're going to switch to lightness. Keep that head floating up though. Keep the solidity of the spine, breathing in. Connecting with kidney one, breathing out. Breathing in. And breathing out. Okay, excellent. So now we're going to connect with the heavens. We're going to focus on releasing that bladder 10 celestial pillar, remember? And we're going to keep that really open. And you'll find that if you do that, open up kidney, bladder 10 with your mind, you'll notice that that gives your head a feeling of lightness. It's kind of floating up and you'll feel the spine just feeling like it's just like hanging down into the sacrum. We're going to keep it as light as we can now. We're focusing on the top of the head. And we're floating down really lightly. Okay, breathing in. And now we're switching attention to the top of the head. We're floating that head up. Really light. Brilliant. Okay, keep all that spaces in the spine. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Floating that head up. Okay, excellent. So now we're going to mix and match. We're going to go heavy down and light up to maximize the expansion of the spine. Okay, so here we go. Concentrate on the sacrum, connecting the sacrum with kidney 1 internally. Sink the weight down. Okay, now switching to the head top, feeling light and floating the head up and extending the spine that way. Okay, so sacrum, down, head top up, breathing in. Switch to the head top, floating the head top up. Sacrum, down we go. Switching to the head top, floating the head top up. Okay, just one more. Sacrum down and floating the head top up. Okay, excellent. Now just spend a moment just before we finish up, just internally checking the spine. Feet shoulder width apart. A little bit of a shake out. Relaxing the jaw. Okay, and now we're going to just spend a minute or two just scanning down through the spine, starting off with the cervical spine around bladder 10. Down we go through those 7 vertebrae, using our mind just to release any residual tension that might be there. That's it. And then we go into the upper thoracic. Mid-thoracic. Lower thoracic. And then the lumbar. That's this lower bit here. And then the sacrum. Okay, now putting it all together, feel the connection between bladder 10 and the sacrum. Okay, and now just simply compare that with how your spine felt like an hour ago when we scanned all the way down. And if it's anything like mine, it feels completely different. So much more open, especially in the upper back for me. The whole thing just feels like it's totally integrated. And that's a really good exercise to do because the spine is so important for connecting all the nervous system together. It's also, if you're into the internal orbit, the microcosmic orbit, which I'd like to do some more work on later on in the year, which is a really powerful breathing exercise around the body. But that goes through the central channels, through the spine. And so from an energetic point of view, the whole kind of yin-yang balance of the body is really important in terms of the way that the spine's aligned, that it's all released. And then on top of that, we have all the internal organs related to different parts of the spine. So again, by working the spine, we can adjust the emotional center, we can adjust the digestion, we can strengthen up the lower dantian through the spine. So it's kind of like a two-way street. Always worth spending some time doing. Okay, so here we go. The hour is up already. I can't believe it. Just have a quick look back at the chat and see what's been going on. Hooray, look at that. All right, fantastic. Got some really good results there. Thank you very much, Jane and Mary. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. Here we are. Okay, thanks, Kat. I've been looking after the chat. I can see really well. Lots and lots of posts. I'm just going to put a nice heart there. Love to you all and hope to see you next week with continuing our epic journey around the meridians, bringing in all different aspects of Shiatsu, Qi Gong, a little bit of yoga, and all those internal exercises. Okay, see you next week. Have a great week and look after your spine. Bye.